What's going on, Subway surfers? We're back on the surface today, taking an in-depth look at Mississauga's bus rapid transit system. Located on the western border of the city of Toronto, Mississauga's rapid transit service, named My Express, operates 9 express routes across the city. Almost 12 kilometers of the system consists of a dedicated roadway, referred to as the Transitway, which services 11 enhanced stations along an east-west corridor spanning the city. Today, we'll be taking an in-depth look at this Transitway system, exploring its design, operations, as well as looking into what works and doesn't work for passengers. I'm Zach with Vanishing Underground, and let's take a look. The Mississauga Transitway Network is divided into 2 segments, broken in the middle by the City Centre Transit Terminal at Square One. On the eastern segment, 9 stations are serviced by My Express routes 100, 107, and 109. My Local Route 87 also services 5 stops between Renfort Station and Tahoe Station, before continuing to service limited stops to Meadowvale Town Centre in mixed traffic. GO Transit Route 19 and 40 also operate along this section of the Transitway. However, these routes stop only at Dixie and Renfort stations. A connection to My Express Route 185 is also made at Dixie Station, with buses running north from the station into Brampton and Bramalea Terminal. On the western segment, 2 stations are serviced by My Express routes 100 and 109. Route 110 follows these routes between City Centre Terminal and Erin Mill Station, before continuing south to the South Common Terminal, the University of Toronto's Mississauga campus, and Clarkson GO Station. GO Bus routes 25 and 29 also use the Transitway, following the My Express routes between City Centre and Winston Churchill stations. Other GO Bus routes on the Highway 407 West service, namely the 45, 46, and 47, also stop at the Erin Mill Station. Plans were proposed to allow these buses to stop at the Winston Churchill station as well. However, no further progress has been made on these since 2017. If you want to learn more about the evolution of this Transitway network, check out our video by clicking the button in the top right corner of your screen. At each station, 2 platforms are located on opposite sides of the roadway, covered by a canopy. Stations not serviced by GO buses contain a 55-meter platform, bordered by tactile strips that can accommodate 2 articulated buses, while the platform-length canopy provides shelter for passengers when boarding and alighting. Stations shared with GO Transit contain a longer platform, with stations at Renfort, Erin Mills, and Winston Churchill divided into 4 separate boarding areas in each direction. Under the canopy, 1 or 2 enclosures contain a sheltered waiting area equipped with seats, automatic doors, and heating, as well as an emergency call button, waste receptacles, and vending machines. On the platform, more benches are available, as well as a real-time information display showing upcoming MyWay departures, while audio messages make occasional safety and rider alert announcements. All stations along the Eastern Transitway except Cawthra also feature dedicated staircases and elevators for each platform, which allow passengers to ascend or descend from the Transitway to street level. At street level, bicycle racks are provided for cyclists to lock up their bikes, as well as cycling roll-ups on the stairs to allow cyclists to bring their bikes onto the bus bike racks. Wi-Fi is provided at most stations along the Transitway, and public restrooms are also provided at Renfort. 4 stations along the route also feature parking lots, encouraging park and ride traffic to the subway, while others feature passenger pickup and drop-off areas and taxi stands. Operations along the majority of the Transitway are the same. Buses enter the Transitway via a dedicated ramp, governed by stop and yield signs. Along the Transitway, buses can travel between 60 and 80 km per hour. However, these speeds are reduced to 50 when traveling through stations. Buses stop only on request, requiring passengers to be visible on the platform for boarding, or to pull the stop request to alight. Roundabouts are installed at Winston Churchill, Erin Mills, Dixie, and Renforth stations, allowing buses to turn around if the station is the last stop on the route. Through downtown Mississauga, buses travel in mixed traffic to service the city centre terminal at Square One, before proceeding along Highway 403 to Erin Mills Station. Along the highway, bus bypass lanes are available for use on the shoulder when traffic is running slow, as well as dedicated transit priority signals at Erin Mills and Mavis. Most of the Transitway sees MyWay service run every 5 to 10 minutes on weekdays, and every 10 to 15 minutes on weekends. Standard 40-foot buses and articulated 60-foot buses are used, depending on the route and the day of the week. Both transit buses run every 30 to 60 minutes along the Transitway, using a mixture of coach and double-decker buses. There are also many unique sections on the Transitway, which incorporate features specifically designed to meet the needs of the area. At Etobicoke Station, the station building is integrated with a neighbouring office development, allowing passengers to access the property directly from the Transitway station. With Etobicoke being one of the busier stations for employment traffic, this link helps to make transit an attractive choice for those working at the major office buildings surrounding the station. Further west, Cawthra Station features an underground tunnel, allowing passengers to access the westbound platform of the Transitway. As this station was set back from the cross street and has no connecting bus routes, its location next to Highway 403 was taken advantage of to provide a parking lot as well as an area for passenger pickup and drop-off. The tunnel is accessible, with a ramp parallel to the stairs, as well as lighting and an emergency call button for safety. At City Centre Terminal, an on-street station services Square One, allowing buses to easily pick up and drop off passengers from the street. The stop is in close proximity to the Square One GO Terminal, providing convenient connections to GO Transit routes, as well as other MyWay and Brampton Transit Zoom routes at the City Centre Terminal. A walkway through the terminal also provides access to the Square One Shopping Centre, the largest mall in Ontario. Bus-only lanes exist off of the Transitway, allowing My Express buses to bypass congestion between the various Transitway segments. At Erin Mills, a bus-only left turn lane provides access to a dedicated ramp. While most buses opt not to use this, during heavy traffic, this ramp provides direct access to the bus bypass lanes along Highway 403, reducing delays for passengers. At Mavis, a bus-only right turn lane allows vehicles to bypass long queues along Centerview Drive. A temporary no right on red prohibition is activated when the transit signal is triggered, allowing buses to enter the highway shortly after the turn. Along Eglinton, a bus-only entrance to Highway 427, as well as a bus-only left turn lane onto Dundas, continue the seamless route to Islington subway station. So what does the Transitway do well? For starters, the Transitway has created a high-quality transit spine running across Mississauga. Combined with the under-construction Hurontario Light Rail line, the Transitway will provide a high-quality bus service to support a grid network of buses. Additionally, the east end of the Transitway at Renforth is well positioned to provide an important connection to Toronto Pearson Airport, the future Eglinton Crosstown Light Rail, as well as the Bloor Danforth subway, reducing travel times for commuters and connecting them to high-quality transit infrastructure. Major north-south transit routes connect to the Transitway at Winston Churchill, Erin Mills, Central Parkway, Tompkin, and Dixie stations, allowing passengers to continue further into Mississauga. Along the Transitway, the high frequency of service provides a similar service level to a rail rapid transit system, ensuring that passengers can depend on a vehicle arriving shortly no matter when they travel. The Transitway also provides excellent access to employment destinations in Mississauga and is designed to provide connections for counter-peak commuters coming from Toronto. Stations at Renforth, Dixie, and Tompkin provide connections to frequent employment shuttles running every 15 to 20 minutes to the neighbouring employment districts. While the introduction of the Transitway resulted in many of these shuttle routes no longer operating directly to the subway, buses to the subway from the Transitway run every 10 minutes or better during peak, allowing for high-quality transfers between these two routes. Furthermore, stations at Orbiter, Spectrum, Etobicoke Creek, and Tahoe are located in close proximity to the head offices of many major corporations, providing a direct and frequent one-seat ride from the subway to their place of employment. The Transitway stations themselves are also well designed, with the enclosed shelter space providing a comfortable waiting environment for a large number of people. The enclosed area is well heated during the winter and provides ample seating and standing area. Some platforms have two separate enclosures, allowing passengers more room to spread out as they wait for the bus. However, given the frequency of buses, these areas do not usually get very busy. Furthermore, the integration of bike infrastructure in the form of the stairway bike wheel-ups and sheltered bike racks encourage the integration of cycling into the passengers' commutes. Given the long walking distances to the surrounding neighborhoods at many stops, this helps to encourage alternative methods for accessing the station and provides a higher quality travel experience. While the Transitway has brought many positive changes to public transit in Mississauga, there are many aspects of the design that have been pointed out by critics. While its construction did create a high-speed dedicated Transitway corridor, many of the stations are not well positioned to connect to the local neighborhoods. This means that the majority of passengers using the Transitway arrive either by connecting from other bus routes, driving and parking at the stations, or being dropped off. Due to its positioning, walking to the Transitway from adjacent neighborhoods is out of reach for most customers, in addition to the fact that most surrounding development consists of single detached homes, with the exception of Central Parkway Station. However, there are some improvements on this front, with a new paved connection being constructed at Winston Churchill Station to the adjacent neighborhood, as well as another multi-use trail linking to the nearby streets at Erin Mills. Although these still lead to low-density neighborhoods and are not well signed from the Transitway itself, improvements like these will help to attract nearby residents to the rapid transit corridor. Service integration is also a low point for the Transitway, with many stations offering no connecting buses. While the Transitway itself sees high ridership, many of the stations see very little activity, owing not only to the lack of trip generators, but a lack of connecting bus routes. Only half of the stations have connecting bus routes that run 7 days a week. However, even these are infrequent outside of rush hours. While MyWay did make some effort to reorient their bus routes to feed into the Transitway, there remains many examples of obvious connections that were omitted. Because of this, stations often rely on walk-up passengers for traffic. However, as previously stated, their isolated locations often do not allow for this. With the opening of the Huron-Ontario LRT, we hope that more MyWay routes will be redesigned to feed into the Transitway, allowing for a one-transfer ride between Manny Point and Mississauga. This might help to improve ridership at intermediate stops along the Transitway, as well as generate ridership along the corridor in the years to come. Finally, for connections that do exist between the Transitway and my local bus routes, a lengthy walk outside of the Transitway is often required, in unsheltered conditions. As many Transitway stations have their entrances and exits on only one side of the street, passengers traveling in the opposite direction are often required to walk as far as 200 meters and cross a busy roadway with no automatic pedestrian signals. Although routes are fairly frequent during rush hours, outside of rush hour, this can lead to lengthy waits due to the transfer time, which is especially unpleasant in a less sheltered environment. Furthermore, at some stations where passengers have to transfer between platforms, such as Renforth, Dixie, Erin Mills, and Winston Churchill, the design of the stations requires that passengers either ascend the stairs and descend again on the other side, or walk all the way to the end of the platform before crossing the Transitway. Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed this video and learned something new about the design and operations of Mississauga's Transitway Network. Feel free to leave a like and a comment if you have any questions or want to see more. And as for us here, we'll be vanishing underground until the next one.